Jingle Jam 2010. Usher, Trey Songz, and now we got Miguel with us.
Yeah. What's happening?
Jenny, I was just telling Miguel, we were talking a few minutes ago, and this is a huge tour, a huge experience for him, to be on this tour with Trey Songz and Usher, so early on in your career.
Absolutely.
And what have you learned so far from these two guys?
You know what? It's the same. I just got off of off tour with Mary J. Blige and Jasmine Sullivan and Elder Barge, and getting to watch them every night and just watch how they connect, with their audience and the different ways they do that. And then watching Trey and Usher do it with this audience. It's just been a huge learning experience. And they do it in their own ways because it's really their personalities. But I get to see, really cool things like, simple things like call and response and making people sing the records and just talking to them and how they speak to their fans. And, little things like that go a long way. And just, I just been soaking it in. I'm like a sponge right now. So.
Wow.
I know, because when was the first time we met? When was that? When did we get drunk together at City's Team?
We met like January, February, wasn't it? Like mad early.
So
it must have been like March, February.
Yeah, so it hasn't even been like a year.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
So, yeah, we got really drunk at City's Team.
Wow.
I made him take shots. I was like, you want to take shots?
My dad was there and everything.
His dad was there. I let his dad,
there.
grind on me at 9:16. I let him grind on me.
Wow.
He's a second grade school teacher. He's a second grade school teacher in
Pops is
California.
cool, though. Yeah. Can't lie. Pops is cool.
Oh, no, he's cool. I would have
cool.
slept with him. I would have.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just kidding. No. I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like from that time that we met, and everybody was like, oh, Miguel's coming up here. Craig was the one that set up the interview for you to come up.
Right.
And I'm like, who's Miguel? And he's like, oh, he's a new artist. He's going to come up and interview with us and whatever. And from the time that we met that day and that night to now, I mean, everybody knows your name.
Right.
Getting there.
You're on Gossip the other day. I believe you're on TMZ the other day because you're partying with Usher.
Right.
You're out and about with him and Fat Me and Scoop.
Yeah.
I mean, you're now a star.
I didn't know we were on TMZ. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
I try not to pay too much attention to that stuff.
Oh my God.
But that's crazy.
You should pay attention. Google yourself, honey.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool.
You know what? I wanted to ask you, that first time we met, your single had just came out.
Right.
Buzzing real heavy. How did that process take place with you on this tour? Did you reach out to Usher's people? Did they reach out to you? How does that process?
Man, I camped outside of Usher's studio in Atlanta, and I juggled for 24 hours straight. And I had like 3 or 4 people.
I'm looking at Kim Fresh's face.
Kim Fresh was like, wow, really?
It was a whole event. Like Guinness World Book of Records came out. I was going to let them know that I'm going to get on this tour and juggle. No.
You know what? I know how sarcastic Miguel is, okay? I know how sarcastic he can be, so.
No, you know what? Usher and I, we've actually been, we've worked together since the Here I Stand album,
He's written songs for other artists.
That's
how we started out.
That's like my bro. Like that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of took me under his wing on other fronts on the music side, and so when it made sense on the business side for him to bring me out, it was just like, why not? And I remember, I'll never forget the call. I was on the train coming back. I think I was coming back from Connecticut.
Were you hungover?
I was probably hungover. No, this wasn't. It wasn't that trip.
I threw up the next day before I got on the air. I threw up.
Wow.
In the garbage can at work.
Crazy.
I was so sick.
Oh yeah, that was.
Because Miguel likes to try different beers.
Yeah.
So we were trying different beers.
And what was that? That was it was a wheat beer that we tried.
Yeah, and it was so dark, and it would taste like chocolate.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was so good, but we just kept drinking it.
Yeah. It's summer every day with you.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he gave me a call. I was on the train, and he invited me out, and I have a tremendous responsibility of setting the tone for the show, and we go out there and we work every night. So,
it's cool.
That's got to be a lot of pressure, just starting the show off because, sometimes, I mean, you kind of got to gauge the crowd and everything else. Now, by the time the second or third act gets on, people are warmed up and everything else.
Right.
You're like the person responsible for getting them ready.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's just crazy having that pressure night in and night out.
You know what? I don't even look at it as pressure at this point. It's more like I'm honored to have the responsibility. That's really that's the perspective I take on it.
Yeah,
Right.
you
And we
should
go
feel
out
that
there,
way. Yeah.
and we go out there, and we work, and by the end, like, people have a good time. I promise, if you don't know who Miguel is, when we step off the stage, my band and I, you'll remember us. So, you know, if we're in your town, and you haven't had a chance to check the OMG tour or haven't got your tickets, make sure there's only a couple shows left.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting about All I Want Is You is because I remember speaking to Debbie Dev from
Right.
the West Coast.
I love Debbie.
She's down south now.
Yeah.
But me and Debbie were actually talking about you, I think, at the BET Awards.
Right.
And I said, you know, are you guys playing, you know, All I Want Is You a lot because, you know, he's from the West Coast or whatever.
Right.
And she said at the time that you were getting love on the West Coast, but you were getting actually more love on the East Coast
Way
at the
more.
time. And it was
Way
so funny
more.
how that single just took off because I remember the request lines. I'm sure you two do too. Like,
Yeah.
everybody just wanted to hear that song.
Wow.
You know,
That's
and
love.
by the way, the album is in stores, so
It is.
congratulations.
You guys are like one of the first stations to really, really show love.
Yeah, well.
So it all kind of started in Connecticut. Like, it really was here.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those songs, for me at night, it's one of those songs that
that he likes to sit around in his boxers too and
it's TMI, y'all.
think about past relationships.
that's why it's
The-
Oh, man.
what I was gonna say is that song it catches you as soon as it come on.
Right.
Thanks,
And
man.
as a new artist, I knew that opportunity. When you put together a song like that, every new artist's goal is to put together a song that immediately grabs your audience. And if it don't immediately grab you, you kind of like fall to the wayside. But as soon as you heard it, just catch you. It was a catchy song. If you be at night, they react quick. Usually count down no time, dog.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.
And another
Thank you. I
reason,
appreciate that.
another way that you could tell is, you know, when you have a number of artists jumping on it for remixes, it's
Yeah, that
all
was
types
actually
of
really
dudes
cool.
jumping on it,
Yeah,
rapping
that was
now.
real cool, man. Watching a couple MCs get on. Some of my favorite MCs.
Yeah.
Chef got on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Ross did a verse to
Rick
it.
Ross did a verse.
Who else? Jermaine Dupri got
Jermaine
on it.
Dupree, yep, he got
did a
on it
verse
late.
was
Joel
cool.
Ortiz
Joel
is on
Ortiz
there.
got on
Yeah.
it early. It was really,
Yeah.
really cool, man. So,
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a
I don't know,
compliment to
man.
that, you know.
Lucky, the cool part is I wasn't sitting there like, I'm going to write a record that's going to sound like, it just kind of wrote itself. So it's really cool, man, just watching it all happen.
Well, Miguel, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Always a pleasure to see you. Pleasure to see you, Kid Fresh. Yeah, appreciate it. And good to meet you, brother.
No,
Yes, sir.
it was
Yes,
really
sir.
nice
Yeah.
seeing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't got a lot to kick it. It's all right. I'm going to get off the air, and everybody's going to be like, that guy.
Like one of the few stations that actually got to see you from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that you're on tour,
Crazy. Crazy. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay here. They'll come back. They're going to go to Europe. We're going to stay. I have a small tour I'm doing out here. Yeah,
Okay.
in end of January, February. We'll be back out this way, too, so you got to stop by.
March.
What?
After I drop this kid, we can go drink it again.
You
Yeah,
have
see
a
that?
month?
That's
You
what
do-
the
really?
alcohol.
It's not triplets, really?
I'm having a big boy.
I was about to say.
All right, I'm going to go. All right, thank you, Miguel. It's Hot
Thank y'all.
937.
Peace.